I've gotten several from his.
Oh, yeah.
He was called me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Who's this? No, it's not.
I pushed the thing.
Careful that thing.
Yeah.
Figure it out?
Nope.
I don't know what all these buttons are.
Is there a microphone on the camera? Does that pick up sound?
There's one. No, that's the camera.
Yeah.
Just talk loud. I should be able to hear you.
Okay. This will open the meeting at September 11th at 12:30 for Marion County Courthouse Commission. And is there any comments on, anybody wants public comments online?
Can they even hear you online?
There's nobody there,
I don't see any,
It says there's 5.
huh?
I don't see free press on there. There you go.
We can hear, is what they say.
Okay, well, that's good. Okay, do you have any business to conduct?
Yeah.
Do you do the
Approve the
agenda
agenda
approval?
first.
Okay. Any additions to the agenda?
5-minute executive session, property acquisition.
Any other addition to?
No, or when Krista's here, I just brought a copy of the plan, glad her agenda moved that while she's
Yes.
here.
She's getting some kind of grant signed what she needs. Okay, so we're going to salary sheets and change orders.
The end? Executive at the end?
In 5 minutes.
I don't have any salary sheets or change orders, but I do have the minutes for September 5th.
Motion to approve.
A second to that?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 4-0. Who said 5?
I do have early checks. And the amount of $21,037.58.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
I was
Are they
second.
ready to put in? Are those ready to put in?
They're done.
They're done, okay.
Been done for 3 months. 2
Okay.
months, they just.
Did you make a motion?
Yeah, I made a motion to.
I'll second that.
Do we need to say what they're for?
For the
2 generators.
yeah, courthouse annex and the ambulance building, Marion.
I hear a second.
I did.
Good. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Abstain.
3 with 1 abstention.
Let me grab those.
Oh,
Yeah, I brought that up. Dave asked me, county ever gonna pay the bill? What do you mean? Oh, because they paid for the road and bridge. They didn't pay for those. So I asked Tina about it. I said, if
What's
that-
the deal?
If that, no, I said, if that went through, I did make sure I'm going back and changing my motion to approve something.
Got denied.
Make you sweat it a little bit.
Yeah. I didn't see him come through in the orange.
Next, we need an approval for the request for an extension for the 290th project.
So moved.
I'll say, second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? 4-0. That is approved and just need one signature.
Yeah,
And then
you.
you to sign.
You might explain what that extension's for, Dave?
Getting a 60-day extension of the project on 290th.
Asking for a 60-day.
Yeah. Supposed to end October, we're on to December 31st. Because we're working with EBH engineering now. Since we don't have an engineer on staff to do it correctly.
Thank you.
So
I do have some transport fuel bids.
Just one bid.
one,
There's multiple.
MFA and somebody else.
Is it just MFA?
Same FA?
Is this one bid?
Don't see any of it. What number was trying to call you? Looks like about the same one.
I guess just one bid.
6-2.
That's 316-680. Thought maybe they're just going down the list.
I'll make a motion to approve the transport and fuel bids. MFA oil, $29,482.88.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 4-0.
Epsworth.
MFA.
Back to Eps.
And I do need a 5-minute executive session. I don't know if I'm gonna do it now or wait for the end of the.
Just wait till the end, Tulsa. That's all right, everybody.
Depends on her.
Qualified individual.
Yes.
Any other business?
I'm sure we'll have an executive with Lloyd. Never.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, really?
He's just gonna tell us good news.
Oh.
This is spending money stuff, so it's like,
My goodness.
I guess we're ready for Lloyd.
should have said it like that, right?
You gonna do the executive now or at the
Did you
end?
go to Kansas
At the end.
Wesleyan?
Okay.
Lloyd's
Go to
here.
Kansas Wesleyan.
Yes, I went back and spoke to them
I saw that.
after the raid.
A friend of mine sent me that. I'm a, oh, from Texas. I sent you a copy of that.
Yeah, did you make copies for everybody?
I made a copy for everybody.
Okay.
I want cupcakes. I did not make copies of all the actual quotes. I talked to Tina and she said just bring the quotes.
Okay.
Unless you guys, I got them now. There's pages and pages and pages and pages of quotes.
You know, the health department used to put a little lifesaver on here for me. I like how you laughed
I
at
probably
Well,
don't.
You come back for
It's just
money.
3 pages, right?
Yeah, just 3 pages. I don't. I think I need to change. Let me see what you got. What good tweak to it.
His laugh was priceless.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay.
I don't know, there were little tweaks in the wording. This is several quotes and data quotes. You needed that, is that for the record? For you guys? This is all the quotes, so we're going to do it after I get done with this. If you have questions. Okay, I'm back after the discussion and. Oh.
Take you those.
Yeah.
Germany?
Out of reach, that's all I know.
I knew I'd think of your name sooner or later. Take a long time. I came up in May, it was May, I think. And I've brought this up with you guys before about the need for our VM host server plant downstairs. We're in year 7 of a 5 to 6 year hardware down there. We could get as much as 9 years out of it before we hit the limits of all of our in the life, on the technology and all that. So, but when I talked to you in May, I said I'd come back with the finalized quotes we've been getting. We have looked at this for that better part of 2 years, but really in the last 8 months, 9 months, we've been going over this and going over this and going over this. Basically, the 2 servers and the storage area network downstairs manage a total of up to 18 servers running on it. Some are utility server things, but they're virtual servers running on the hardware. Well, the hardware's going out of date eventually. So we went to the departments, we looked at this, we went back and forth, to look at what do we need to replace this and to also anticipate at least 5 years out on our storage requirements, things like that. So that's what this is, this little summary. I've got the individual quotes here. We talked to CDW, we talked to Blue Valley, talked to Dell a little bit. CDWG came back with a match for the Blue Valley specifications we sent for the HP that we were really kind of looking at for the server hardware. But they also came back with Lenovo. I also sent requests with the same general specs to my reps, and that's included in here, but I don't like it. I don't like the solution. So basically what this gives us, once we replace it, we will also have some life for a failover for our existing servers for testing, for full backups. We don't have something with the size. We can do test restores of our individual servers, but we can't do everything at once, which is what we would really like to be able to do. So if this is replaced, and you talked about maybe doing it at the first of the year, we would have that as a failover for our backups and tests. So one of the things we really looked at, and the yellow ones are the ones I highlighted. We'll get into the backup solution in a minute, but the top part is the servers themselves, what the hardware is. The HP quote that came back from CDWG is about 13,000 more with the exact same, almost exact same hardware. What they came back with was with a processor that was a generation back. So there's a generation 10 processor in that one from HP for a bigger price. Blue Valley came in with a generation plus for the 50,000. I want to get back to the processor part of it because in the Lenovo quotes that came in, they're like a generation back on their processors. They initially came in with that SR650 with the D2000 SAN, and then it came back with an upgraded quote. So I included both quotes because we kept going back and forth and say, hey, what do you got for quotes? Then we'd say, Kim, we need the technology. We need a little bit more cutting edge because what I'm trying to buy for us is that we can last as long as we did last time. I mean, we might spend, like here, they came in at 45.8, and the quote for Blue Valley came out at 50,000, but their technologies, the Generation Plus processors, a little, it's current, a little further out there. They're not buying behind it.
I don't think you wanna buy last year's technology, do you?
Yeah, well, like, we were going over this again this morning, and one of the processors in that DE 4000 originally came out in 2019, where we've got the 2022 and 2021 processors in the HP coming out in 2021, depending on the 2022. So part of it also is our backup solution, which could change. We're doing our V backups, and eventually they'll go, okay, we're not backing up this processor level anymore. Now that's 3, 4, 5 years out there, but I don't want to hit that any sooner than I have to. So, so looking at that, the Supermicro Synology solution that came back from us, it separates out the storage over the network from the servers, and the other solutions have the servers actually physically hardware integrated with the servers are integrated with the storage. So there's a whole bunch of failover. We're not depending on say a network chip going down, or it's part of the unit basically. They're separate devices, but it's part of the unit. So based on all that, I'm gonna bounce around a little bit, but I'd recommend the quote on the pricing and the specs from Blue Valley. Like I said, HP came in, the CDWG came in with almost the exact same specs, except for the processor being a Generation 10 instead of a Generation Plus. I think it was $13,000 more. So, any questions on that part? I know I could have raced through the reasoning on that.
What is the scanning due to our capacity? You know, the different offices are starting to scan everything now.
Oh, yeah, we took that into account. We talked a lot about that with folks. This has a total of 20 terabytes with expansion. We're at 20 terabytes now, and we don't have any room for expansion anymore. So, what we're actually using right now in reserves are about 12 terabytes. So the thing is, we want to have changing the reserves and the structure of this, get it down to like 8 to 9 terabytes with full failover, and then they can add to it as they request. So we talked to a lot of stuff's moving in the cloud too. So they're scanning stuff and all that, but it was kind of a weighing things like, we're getting off Exchange for 365, so we eliminate all like 4 terabytes of storage there, and so we're buying that to give to, say, deeds or anything we want to do over with the sheriffs and stuff. We've kind of monitored their growth. Sheriff has actually expanded some things, and there's some things they've moved off network for their storage for security reasons, and not off any connection, so they're air gapped, so that so we kind of wait, because they're pulling that and adding this and that, and that's where we kind of came in with the scanning and the storage and stuff. Attorney's office, they had everything on their server down there in a couple weeks, 26th, weekend of 26th, 28th. They'll be going to the cloud with the Carpel, so everything's stored there.
Okay.
So we're grabbing that back, that little piece there. Wasn't a ton, maybe close to a terabyte, but we'll grab that back. So yeah, it was just juggling. It's like, okay, the technology moves to the cloud, we grab this and get this, and then how much are you gonna grow later on? So I can see that keeping happening, especially with the vendors out there, because they're going, okay, here's our solution, and we've got it in the cloud, and that's also happening with our 365. We've got, what we would before want to store in documents, pictures, or anything like that, we can move into 365, and we pretty much have unlimited out there with that. So based on all that, the give and take, that's what's kind of taking so long. Okay, yeah, well, here, this is kind of, here's the sweet spot, and it gives us plenty of room for expansion, so.
Can the cloud be reached remotely? Somebody has a password?
Yes, but it's two-factor, so, there are some things that are into the cloud, well, there's a lot of things in the cloud. But everything we're locking down, even where they didn't have two-factor authentication before. That's just kind of the name of the game, but like all your 365 stuff is two-factor authentication. All of it, just about all of it is. With, I don't want to get into too much of the security discussion, but we've tightened up a lot of that in the last couple of months, even more, so. Things we kind of took for granted, it's like, yeah, we're going to to the cloud. It's like, now let's take a couple steps before we get to the cloud. So I'm feeling pretty good about where we're at with that part of it. So.
Were we paying monthly now for real-time backup?
Mm-mm. It's,
But under this, we're gonna have to be paying monthly.
yeah. This second part, this is completely separate. We won't go into the backup part, and then we won't start the servers yet.
We haven't been paying anything for that.
Well, you're paying like a yearly subscription for
You'll pay
software.
for storage.
And storage.
You know, I wonder what's that been running?
Minimal. We're not really, we're moving that off, so ourselves.
Yeah, but I
It's
mean,
not-
I'm just comparing this to the yearly fee that we're paying now.
It's minimal. It's absolutely minimal, so.
Minimal.
We're doing it compared to this.
They
cost.
backing up all day long, just once a day?
It's just once a day. Some things changed with the 365, because it's basically backing ourselves up in real time, because we're syncing with our long drive storage, and so that's backing up in the cloud. But as for our servers, we got nightly backups that we're relying on. Plus, it's backing up to our home site also, just a few mission critical servers. So.
But shouldn't the worker bees be backing up all day long? with the-
That's what we're trying to go to, yeah, but that's what this includes, because we're not doing that now.
We back up every 10 minutes, just till it shuts down,
Do you?
we only lose 10 minutes worth of work.
Like Western Social?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have that now. That's what. this-
So you
that's
could
what
lose
this
a whole
is.
day worth of work.
Yeah, that's what this part of the proposal is with the data.
Yeah.
So, let me get into that a little bit now.
I think that's what we're asking about, is backing
Yeah.
up cost.
Because we have separate backups, the health and sheriff's, well, some sheriffs, and everything's back here too, so. Yeah, it's, and the AS400.
Everything on the cloud and everything all computerized.
Yeah, this proposal in here gets us there, so, but it's not cheap, so.
Did we budget for that
That's what I'm
in
looking.
23 or 24?
We got AS400 and team at 50,000. Is that where that would be coming from? Do you know?
There's the AS400.
That wouldn't be coming from the AS400.
Or 400
That'd be coming from risk management, wouldn't it?
team?
AS400?
Yeah, we budgeted 50.
Well, yeah, because
Is
we
it-
replaced that
We have the
piece,
courthouse
what, 2 years ago?
line.
The AS,
Yeah, AS400, that's not hardware, because I think
Okay.
I don't think AS400 goes out to a Plymouth set.
Computer and computer operator and equipment. Budgeted 110. This would be 90 or 80 between the yearly fee and the subscription.
right.
I was looking for.
I was just wondering
for you.
if we'd actually budgeted that for 24. Can you have Tina check on that?
Yes.
And that was if that was through risk management? Or a separate line item?
I couldn't find it in risk.
Well, I knew we always budgeted for the AS400.
That's in the courthouse.
Right.
Was that 400 software support.
It doesn't, the line item isn't there, it's basically laying out just if something arises with those two issues.
I don't know what they pay every year, every now.
How long is the bid's good for?
On these, we'll have to redo them in 30 days, but most things run
I
too
would-
crazy.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to take Lloyd's recommendation pending the budget is approved for it.
If it's in the budget.
Yeah, just have staff review, make sure.
This is for next year.
Won't we have to approve it again?
It'll be for 2024.
Well, if we budgeted for it, it had to have been 20.
Well, 23 has some carryovers, like this AS 400 team is a 50,000 carryover. So it was something that was planned for 23, but it carried over to 2024.
Yeah,
So
but
we have
that-
spending authority.
Spending authority, but that was intended for AS 400, isn't it? Replacement every,
Yeah.
I don't know how many years.
And then also,
We've got until 2027 right now, man.
also we have
We just replaced it.
yeah, I think some of that stuff is being rebuilt because
Oh.
2022, it was only $2,600. So it inflated to 50 and then carried 50. So, but the computer operating equipment is 121. It got dropped down to 110 and carried over another 110. So we have spending authority both years there. I'm just trying to make sure which line item we're pulling it from.
I know
And that's
T-
where I would like staff review.
Yeah, I know Tina asked me back in April, May.
I guess I'd agree
where
with
Anna Life was,
approving
and that's
pending
where I talked about
budget authority.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
4-0.
So we're gonna have staff review, make sure the budget line item is accounted for.
Do you want to talk about the backup part of it?
That's
I haven't got-
30,000.
No, it's 2,400 a month.
Yeah. 2,500.
Yeah, 25. They rounded it down.
But the backup,
What does it bring extra that we don't have today?
Okay, basically, and I talked about this in May, there's a breakout of my stuff that I discussed in May. It's what Dave was talking about. This data is a company that provides backup. It's backup locally, automated, in cloud. It's also, the backups are reviewed for integrity and scanned for in basically real time. So, we would have, this is a device that would be on site here, that the systems are being hosted, everything else, anything else we want to include with it, backs up to, and then that's backed up into the cloud. So say the VM, we get a lightning strike, the VM hosts go down, we can spin up the building and our servers from the jail and over here, attorneys, from this device as a storage and capacity until we replace that. If a tornado takes out the whole blasted thing, we have agents on PC and we can go to the cloud and get to our copies of our server. It's continuously keeping all these servers up to date.
You go to Hillsborough, be back in business again.
Yeah,
with a computer.
that's why you pay up the nose for
Yeah.
it, but it's slick stuff. And we've got it a couple other places. We work with Blue Valley on that. We're actually a reseller for data, but I can't make prices, that's why I've included it in there, so. But at the same time, it's $2,500.
What's the life expectancy on this equipment? 5
This
years, you said?
is 7 on this. Oh, on the server
Yeah,
or the backup?
server,
server.
the backup, we kind of figure that's, keep paying the fee.
I'm planning on 5 to 7 years. I mean,
I mean, we need to take all that in consideration for when we budget, so
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
budgeting for that every year.
Well, if you're buying it 50,000 now, 7 years, you're gonna be at 80 to 100.
Well, yeah, but you're gonna have to replace the AS 400.
Yeah, that's.
That was 120,000.
Up there.
I don't hardware,
No.
about $25,000-30,000.
Wasn't that, I was thinking that was a big ticket item.
It's a big ticket item, it's just not
I think
that big.
when we did the VM host in 2016, we were just over 20,000, and then we had about another 5,000-6,000 additional storage for Rock when we expanded those servers. So 26, this is 50. So yeah, a lot of things have gone up, for sure. But the backup piece is a big ticket item. I know that, but if it can be budgeted at some point, boy, let's save our butts. You're not scrambling, going, okay, let's try to get this hardware, and then we're just up and running. And then, yeah, that's also part of our coup planning. I've done over this with Marcy and everything else too. So just kind of keep things alive. So, and it would, doing this would eliminate the home site completely. I mean, the storage and the monthly cost there, so, we wouldn't have to do anything. It still doesn't meet this cost, cost differential.
Yeah, everything's moving off-site
Well,
everywhere it seems like.
You try, where you can.
that's good and bad too.
Oh, yeah.
Is sometimes your network goes down.
Network goes down, and it's down.
But you can still function if you still got a server.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you got,
But then you gotta keep replacing your servers.
yeah, in between, you're in your best place if you can keep old fashioned and new fashioned.
Yeah. What's really nice about the VM host, and has been since day one, I mean, I think we've saved the county $40,000-50,000 in hardware costs as we've added additional virtual servers. We're not buying more hardware. You're buying this piece of it up front. We need to, like when Rob landed the smart cop, we didn't know that was coming. And there's his server, and then there's 3 additional servers, and we spun them up for the price of a license. So paying $700-800 for a server license as opposed to $3,000-5,000 for hardware for each server that you already had the hardware for. So
The virtual servers will be updated automatically too.
yeah,
You don't have to buy anything else.
yeah. It's
I mean, they charge you for it, I'm sure, but
charging a license, and then you can move things across right now, like we're doing with the time clock right now. So.
Necessary evil.
yeah.
My wife said that's it. Why are you talking about the hardware? Sorry to break all the good news to you.
So this backup would be the same way the server, you wanna check it, see if they budget for it.
Oh, I included the backup in my motion.
Okay.
I'd say if we've got it budgeted and the staff review shows that it's good.
Everything's good.
I've seen a couple line items that we can afford it. I just need to make sure which item it needs to come out of.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else? Or-
That's all I got for now.
Okay.
Thanks, Lloyd.
Ask for one thing at a time.
Executive sessions next time.
Health department.
Thanks, Lloyd.
Good luck. That kicker? What?
Hi, Krista.
Okay.
Afternoon.
You have the agenda?
So today I only have a WIC contract. It's for the federal fiscal year 2024. So that begins October 1st through September 30th of 2024. And we have been awarded $76,976 for Federal Nutrition Services Administrative Funds and $4,000 allocated for federal breastfeeding peer counselor funds. And that's what the official contract
Was that 77?
76.
$76,976.
That was for WIC.
Mm-hmm.
And what
And
was it?
$4,000 for federal breastfeeding peer counselor funds.
Lactation. How would be listed?
The contract here, I got marked that where it needs to be signed if you approve that.
The same thing as last year.
Oh yeah, every
Yeah.
year you
Yeah.
do that.
Same price, same amount of money.
Is the two grants together?
It's all
Usually.
WIC, but
It's all
they
WIC.
separate it by breastfeeding peer counselor and then, the remainder of the WIC program.
So you have 76 and 4?
Yeah,
Okay.
76.9.
Alright, yeah, so there's 80,000 line item receipts.
So it's the same as last year.
It's not the same, it's lower, but
I'll make a motion to accept the WIC contract for 2024.
Federal fiscal year 2024.
I'd second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4 to that.
And here are 2 pages that are marked for signature.
For all of us or just one?
Just for
Right,
the
chairman.
chairman.
Chairman, yeah.
Then I have, our flu shot clinic calendar as well, and I'll just pass that down just for FYI for everyone.
That's coming up, huh?
It's coming up. This year they have, the CDC, normally they don't recommend flu shots until October, but they did say that people can start getting them now in September. So we do have them available at the health department right now. They're predicting a little bit earlier of a flu season.
Thanks. And if someone wants one at one of these locations, what's their process?
It's just a walk-in process, so you don't have to have an appointment for the walk-in flu shot clinics.
Okay.
And then we also will be taking appointments at the health department as well.
Okay.
So,
did not flip the way I wanted it. Normally you can get it to die.
Do we need to, we've always approved whether we're gonna pay county employees flu
Yeah.
shot. Guess that's a question we need to address.
Do you need to copy that or something?
last year we had one person that was a spouse of a county employee that did not have other insurance. And so there was one person that was paid for by the county.
But if the county employee has county insurance, what, fall under that?
It does, and yeah, the county insurance would
So
be.
if you for any county employee that didn't have insurance, like a part-time person, right?
Well, that's full-time, part-time or full-time, whether you make the motion to do that or whether you make the motion to do it all. Whatever you want.
And I think before they've included maybe children, if they did have, we didn't run into any of that last year, but if there were, you know, spouses or children of a person that worked for the county. We had one person last year, was all.
I don't remember what, I think we did.
I know we-
One year we didn't, and then we went back. to
One,
it.
we've addressed it every year.
Yeah.
Probably a little later than now, but looks like probably need to do it now. Huh?
Yeah.
Keep the whole
Is that-
family well.
Was that your motion?
Yeah, I'd make that motion to pay for all county employees.
And family?
And
If they have Blue Cross and Blue Shield, though, we're filing on that, right?
Yes, yes, we do, bill it to insurance.
But it's just uninsured.
And through the state, so let's say we did have someone come through that didn't have insurance at all, or even if it was a county employee family that doesn't have insurance, the only fees that, so we get free vaccine from the state for people who are uninsured. We charge an administration fee of $20, so it would be to waive that fee if you guys deemed
to waive the
appropriate.
administration fee.
Mhm.
That's the way the motion has been, right? That's what we have done.
Last year, that's what you did.
To waive the administration fee
Yeah.
on uninsured.
Yeah. That's
For
the motion.
county employees, I guess
County
specifically, or families of county employees.
Here, a second to that?
Yeah, I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Nick.
Okay. Got 3 in favor, 1.
And that's all I have
Post that
today.
on work. Post that on work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, wait, guys, I brought the first set of plans. We're going back Wednesday again
Yes.
for a second meeting, but I just.
I think, you know, a lot of the questions came from a newspaper article. There was, I'm not gonna say non-truth, but there's a lot of things that was left out. I mean, like what things are for, as far as, you say you got too many offices, but if Krista could tell you what each office did, you could probably justify that.
The one thing we talked about too in our plans, if offices are in question, right now we have a lot of medical records that need to be scanned. We've been working very hard to get everything uploaded into our electronic health record to eliminate paper. But we have over a room full of health records currently that would need to be managed by the health department. But working on that, you know, those could live in an office for the time being until they're scanned into the file, or electronic health record, I should say.
Yeah, I got questions about when the headlines that we increased the size by 26%. And everybody I talked to, this, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know, since we would have had accurate reporting,
Correct.
we wouldn't have had that big question.
And so now, for the headlines, we're going back to cut the size of the building and try moving it into where we don't go into, just like the first set of plans we've seen, where we go on another school property. And also the effectiveness of the building itself now. So we sort of ruled out that we have a picture of a 2-story building here, and all the offices was up above the 2-story. The work part of it, is that a fair way to say it, more or less, except for the receptionist?
Exam and storage.
Was
Yeah.
down here on the bottom, and, but now we're trying to move, but they just, all the office was upstairs, and every employee would have to be running up and down the stairs to go down and wait on the people.
And you had to have an elevator too.
And probably an elevator cost and stuff like that too, so, but that was their interpretation. I thought they did a good job, you know, as far as, they have a set standard of what they provide for offices and things like that, and the halls, the 6-foot and the 5-foot halls, and so that, they've got this one figured at 6 foot. We looked at maybe the office area, maybe cutting back to 5 foot, but, so, I don't know what they will have drawn up for us, switching some of this break room and conference room around and moving it a little different up there. The only thing is,
It's cut the break room in half, kind of.
yeah. The only thing is, I'm just gonna bring it up. Here we are going along, and we're not looking at our other needs with this building, and we talked about, we're putting a roof and a building together here, and same as putting a building over here. Well, the needs for storage is everywhere. Of course, like Jonas said, you don't want, I don't know what the cost of the upstairs is, but to me it'd be cheaper for a storage over this whole building. And I don't know what that cost would be. I haven't figured that out. I haven't asked him yet. I'm asking for viewpoints here.
When are they gonna provide cost estimates based on these plans?
We'll probably find out a little more, unless you know something.
We would have to get as soon as we got the plan together, then you would get your cost estimate, but you'd have to determine, I mean, they can tell you things along the way as you go, like, yes, that would be excessively
could stop.
expensive, or that wouldn't be as bad, or,
Probably after this meeting Wednesday, we could probably ask for an estimate on whatever we come with, I mean,
but I was under the understanding that a contractor is the one that provides your cost, how
Okay,
much it
yeah,
costs, not the
thank you.
architect.
The architect should be able to give you.
Should be an architect,
Just
yes.
say, they ought to be able to
They do an
provide based
estimate.
on, just on
Yeah.
on
Whether it's high or low. they-
going rates of things.
Yeah, it's square footage and type of industry.
Yeah.
how many walls and stuff.
I mean, I hate to settle on a floor plan, not knowing what it gonna cost.
Well, and that's.
Well, then you can always go back if you don't
Well,
like the cost.
I understand that, but
Afford
it's kinda like shooting darts in the dark.
And don't we get like 4 different plans, I think?
One of our problems right now we're working on is trying to get some of the rooms down and stuff to where we can have a circle drive around back, still trying to stay in our own property. One of the things that comes up is the number of parking spaces. You gotta have 20-some parking spaces out there in front
Per your square footage is
for,
what.
for your size of your building and stuff, and so that's, whatever we do in that spot, I will guarantee you that you ain't gonna do nothing else 10 years from now. Only way would be to go up. Don't know that that's the proper thing for us to do, but that's, you know, it's easy to look at a spot. That's why I was so adamant about, you know, not making a final decision whether the building that we wanted would fit that spot. But I thought we maybe could make a little difference type of deal instead of just going in and purchasing it. But anyway, it's gonna be there. It's just like this, well, I don't know about them, whether they're gonna have any extra room to move out or not. But we are gonna have nothing but that space is gonna be filled. You won't be able to build onto it, you won't be able to add to the garage, you won't be able to add nothing. I mean, it's there. That's the drawback that I see so far of putting it in this location.
Just by the neighbor.
Does
Huh?
that building line up with the next door building?
Fairly, he had it a little off here.
It's all set.
You see it's a little offset.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
No.
it's gonna be close.
Yeah, if it matched the same peak roof style and it lined up, there would always be a potential to buy the neighbor and then
That's
build,
pretty-
build between.
That's a pretty big if.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
It's for sale, it's for sale now, I think.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
Jim is.
Oh, really?
if you had enough foresight to
I don't
think
know what he's asking for.
on that, you would close your own door, I guess.
Yeah, right. Well, there's a whole new aspect of what just what Dave said and you said. I mean, that's a brand new building, 5 years old. Wow.
I don't know what he's asking for, but
Wow.
I heard it for sale.
I heard the same thing. I thought they were trying to do something with the school. But I don't know.
So,
I heard a private individual was going to buy it, but it's been a month now, and nothing's happened.
So if a private individual bought it, they may not continue the gym, is what you're thinking?
No, I think they're gonna continue the gym. I mean, yeah, they're gonna all that equipment.
Oh, okay.
Equipment probably costs as much as a building.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, okay, so maybe it's not gonna be as reasonable as what somebody might think.
No.
That's not just a storage building.
Okay. Well, the only way I'd see anything, something happened to the west of Davies, that'd be the only way that I would see anything that would open up space
Yeah.
to,
And Davey's nearing retirement age and his body's working out.
yeah.
I just seen him the other day, he doesn't look like he's wore out at all.
Got a
No,
new
he
knee.
did,
Got a new
but he
knee.
got pains.
Yeah. What, I just bringing it up, because we're setting out here to build a building and put it in that spot, but I'm also reasonable in bringing it back and just getting feedback too. That's why I'm asking.
I think one of the biggest things, which I know I've shared before with, I think maybe all of you, is the location of where the building, you know, where we're proposed location or where we've voted on, or you guys have voted on. It's close to the food bank, it's close to the extension office, it's close to the school, it's close to the sports and aquatic center. There's a park nearby. It's walking distance for people who live in town, which I think that those are all very beneficial things to the location.
The grocery store.
The grocery store is nearby.
You still gotta remember, this is a county health department, not
Right.
Marion City Health Department.
No, I fully agree with that, but as for a location in your county seat, I think that that's the most, of all the places that we have looked at.
And other than the general storage building right over here, there's 2 or 3 people say, well, you got your own ground, why are you looking for other ground? So that's in the back of our ground. I mean, that's possible too. And that's why, but I don't think I've got, this building here was 100 and some feet, the way they proposed it, 120, I think, if I remember right. It takes up just about everything, and I wasn't no measurements on there, was total. Real measurements, but it takes it, as you can see it on the setting, that it takes up just about everything in the ground. And so, we're going back to shrink this up.
Was that about a little over a vehicle wide to get around it?
This is a 10-foot
That's just the easement.
easement.
That's not, you
That-
can't even get a
You
vehicle
can't
around
get, you can't get a vehicle around it.
30 foot, you're gonna have 20-foot driveway and a 10-foot easement.
Yeah.
So you end up with 30 foot.
20 feet's tight. I mean, I swing a 20 feet out of my gate
Well, yeah, I mean,
to get swung out to
when
my
you
side
try to
road.
turn around.
And I just
That
missed
would
the
be
post.
Yeah. Yeah, it's,
Even with 20 feet, you'd have to have some really good concrete posts to.
so that's the problem of not having plenty of ground. And I always look to the future. I don't know the place, don't want to add on later. I mean, that's just been, couldn't do nothing Boron building because you couldn't go nowhere. That was one reason why we got rid of it. Could've went up, elevator and all the costs for that too, so. Be thinking about it. If you got any, contact Dave or I, because we're going back Wednesday at 2 o'clock. We'll be down at their office this time. And if you're gonna drive us down there, Chris.
I will.
Okay, all right. You can pick me up at Peabody. But anyway, that's just an update. If you got anything, don't be scared to call.
They pay people a lot of money to figure that out. I'd like to have one of those jobs, and I think it ought to be right there.
Any decisions?
No executive sessions,
Yep.
no decisions.
Wait a minute, is it ready?
She said it was ready.
Okay, yep.
Make a motion to approve FMLA leave
Qualified
for a
individual.
qualified individual.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 4-0.
Okay, you're offering what job?
That's not a job. It's FMLE.
Leave.
FMLA.
So you mumble, and I can't hear you over
Okay,
here.
FMLA leave for a qualified individual.
Okay.
And you wanna do for
Property
property?
acquisition.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Move to go in executive session.
Should be on there.
Discussion and acquisition of real estate
Yes.
pursuant to KSA 75419B for 5 minutes from 1:35 to 1:40. 136 to 141.
Second.
Just a
Who do you
commission.
want?
No.
Just one?
Aye.
You-
Did we move?
you second?
One, sir.
Aye. Aye.
In favor, aye.
Yeah. Yes, and I second.
Back in session. Okay. We're back in session, no decisions made. Is that the last thing we had?
Commission comments. I don't know why it wasn't on there. We've always had
Yeah.
commission comments.
Any commission comments?
I got a commission comment. Had a constituent contact me, wondering what, not wondering, but asking why something as large as a health department, dollar-wise, why that wouldn't be on the ballot. Which I think is a logical question.
I mean, which road projects on the ballot then? I mean, they're several $1 million.
That the other part of that equation was not just that, but give the taxpayers the ability to say it would be okay, proper, or whatever, to move a department out of Marion if it was feasible and cost effective, or another part of that would be whether all departments of the county needed to remain in Marion. Of course, it's too late to get on
Yeah.
November ballot, and we know what the cost of a special election is.
Yeah, not spending more than
Which would-
15 grand. just
wouldn't
to-
be feasible. But I think it's something to think about down the road. You get into some of these really big projects. And yeah, I know.
If we just
like
had to build a road and bridge building or something like that.
Well, you know, and I know that COVID money is a big part of it, but COVID money is also taxpayer money. So just, you know, I thought it was worthy of bringing before the board, you know, to think long-term about some of those kind of things. That's all I have.
I think it's a valid thing, but on the other side of things, and I don't wanna, I know who contacted me, and it's, everybody here is elected to make those decisions, so. If they don't like the way we make decisions, they can.
And I know
vote us
that,
out.
I know in prior years with bond issues like the jail, that was a ballot issue.
Yeah. And, you know, just to have the $5 million bond that we had for roads, we kept it underneath a certain criteria, so it didn't have to be on. And that's kind of the bar I kind of been setting. If it's above that, then yeah, we need to be, but if not,
And I think the
this
jail,
board should be able to make the decision.
jail issue was a whole lot of things too, Kent. Whether we could go transport cheaper, whether we could do.
Yeah, I know there was variables in there.
There was a lot of variables that the public needed to know what.
All I'm saying
Well,
is,
it was also-
all I'm saying is I think it was a legitimate question.
It was also a sales tax issue.
Right.
Yeah.
That
And
fits.
so that
Another reason
puts it
why.
on.
That was
Yeah.
another reason, there were 2 or 3 reasonings to go to put it in front of the public. And, you know, I'm tickled to death, and I've said this a million times, we got voted down the first time. But the nay voters,
Give them information, you know.
the nay voters come back and helped pass it, because they thought it needed to be done, but not the way we was doing it. So
Right.
it turned out to be a good thing. And I didn't expect to be sitting here and air conditioners going out already and stuff like that, but that's the way it goes, so.
I'll just tack on to what he said. I've had a few constituents, and not surprisingly not in my area, but have said, well, why are you putting it there? Don't you know where the majority of the population lives?
Well, that wasn't the feedback I got. I got feedback is there's multiple facilities in another neighboring town.
I would answer to that question is about like our ambulance department. Yeah, there's more people there, but it's more important that we have service all over than for the same person that, one person out here has a heart attack, whether it's in Hillsborough, Lehigh, Burns, wherever. It's important we have one service, a good service out here for everybody at a reasonable time to respond to everybody. And so that's might come back to just more population stuff.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Anything else?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.